Two handhelds landed on my desk recently, the TRIMUI brick hammer and the RG477M by ANBERNIC, which makes me feel like I can make a video stating that metal retro handhelds are back, because we went for a stagnant period for like 2 years, but with two landed on my desk, it's made me realize that there is a wide selection to choose from now, with powerhouses like this capable of emulating PlayStation 2 at 3x native resolution, to affordable little suckers like this that just want to master the Game Boy Advance era, and I'm not sad about it. So here's a video showcasing my favorite retro handhelds in a metal shell in 2025. The first on the list is the newest and one that I know many EDC nerds will like. It's called the TRIMUI Brick Hammer, an updated metal version of the popular TRIMUI brick that released last year. This device is very pocket friendly, fits in the palm of your hand, and is a similar size and thickness to that of a deck of cards, making it the perfect retro handheld for you sling enthusiasts out there like myself. The TRIMUI Brick Hammer is designed impeccably well and has a modern yet futuristic look thanks to the square design and LED shoulder buttons that light up the back of the handheld with an LED bar on the head to give it that Tron look that's in fashion now. It features a 3.2-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1024 by 768, a 1.8 GHz CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and 3000 mAh of battery, running on a very sleek Linux OS with a custom front end that is just very simple and very effective. And that's what you want, and that's what TRIMUI have been good at for years and years and years. And because the OS and the user experience on this thing is just super simple to understand, it makes a good gift for friends or family that aren't really too well experienced with retro handhelds. It's easy, it's very, very well built, and it's beautiful to play on. Before I jump into the next few, I just want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor. ZenMarket is a Japanese import service that I have used recently, and it has allowed me to bid and buy Japanese items on multiple marketplaces and use ZenMarket's address to hold my purchases at their warehouse, where they can store your items for 60 days and then package it all into one single parcel that you can save on shipping and import fees. I picked up a bunch of stuff, including a Coca-Cola Game Gear, rare Pokemon magazines, my first WonderSwan handheld, and more. And I was very impressed with the way it was protected, alongside the super fast customer service when I requested extra information on products I was bidding on. If you are wanting an affordable way to buy items from Japan, I recommend checking out ZenMarket. They only charge around $3 per item, and they'll hold your hand the entire way, from bidding to tracking your package until it arrives at your doorstep. They're giving Retro Dodo viewers $20 off international shipping if you want to give them a go in the links below. Now on with the video. Next on the list is the ANBERNIC RG 477M, which has put ANBERNIC's metal dry spell to rest after 2 years of not releasing a single device with a metal body. This one is an absolute beast, jam-packed with enough power to emulate PlayStation 2 games at 3x native resolution using an Android OS. It's more power than I need, but I'm not sad that I can play Need for Speed Most Wanted, for example, at 2x native resolution, which is a very power-intensive game, and one game I know that struggles on a lot of other handhelds. So ANBERNIC has made this a somewhat expensive premium handheld, but it's pushing their flagship boundaries in terms of emulation, which some people may not like. Some people want this power in a plastic device, but for now, this is one of the most powerful pocket-friendly, I say pocket-friendly, let's say portable, because in your pocket this is pretty big, the most powerful portable retro handheld on the market with a metal body. You'll feel a little warmth after a while on the back shell, and emulating at this level will only give you a few hours of gameplay using the 5300 mAh battery, but it's completely worth it. It has a 4.7-inch LTPS display with a resolution of 1280 by 960, an octa-core Dimensity 8300 processor, a Mali G615 GPU, 12 GB of RAM, and it runs on Android 14 for those of you that want to use your Android games or cloud stream on here, which you can do, but I don't personally use. The metal body in the large 4.7-inch display makes this a very heavy device, up there with the same weight as an original Nintendo Switch, but in a much smaller form factor. ANBERNIC have perfected the button placements and quality. Their D-pad is one of the best in the industry, action buttons are resilient, and the whole joysticks feature fancy LEDs that you can customize to your liking. The shoulder buttons are okay, too clicky for my liking, but will get the job done. Just ignore the back. It's a little plain with no rubber grips to stop it sliding off the table and causing a small earthquake. For some reason, I don't know why, they just decided to go, you know what, I'm not really going to do anything to the back and just put on these really cheap plastic grips, because actually my fingers don't actually touch these at all. I would have liked it to be rubber so that at least it holds it on my table, but no. ANBERNIC being ANBERNIC had to cut some corners on here so that it can try and sell you something better down the road in 3 weeks' time. Gotta love ANBERNIC. That said, if you want the most powerful metal handheld on the block that feels sturdy in the hand and features a stunning display, this is it. Just ignore the back. This is powerful, beautiful, has a metal body, a lovely display, and it has LED joysticks. Pretty cool. If you want something even smaller than the TRIMUI brick hammer, this matchbox-sized device made of metal will certainly please those of you who like miniature devices. This is called the GKD Pixel II, an updated version of the original. It comes with a metal body and it's an adorable little device with modern touches such as the cyberpunk-style battery LEDs and a crispy 2.4-inch display that's good enough up to Game Boy Advance. Anything more than Game Boy Advance and text and everything just gets a little small. So for me, the classic NES, SNES titles in your 8-bit era and up to Game Boy Advance work well on here, but if you've got poor eyesight like me, you're gonna need something bigger. It doesn't have a bunch of specs and only 800 milliamps of battery too. However, this is an absolute pleasure to play those games on, such as Neo Geo, SNES, NES, Game Boy, and maybe even a little bit of Mega Drive if you don't mind a smaller text. And just like TRIMUI, the Linux OS is matched with a light, easy to understand custom front end that I thoroughly enjoy. This device is my go-to if I want something that will fit in my pocket with my wallet, whereas others on this list are more fitted to a coat pocket or a satchel. And that's what makes this magical and one that I use a lot. It's compact, it's built to last, feels incredibly premium, has a very bright display, and organizes my games nicely. It's the best mini retro handheld on the block if you're after one that will last many, many years to come. This is a device that I had a love-hate relationship with, which was until AYANEO fixed that issue. The original Pocket Micro featured two pretty useless analog sticks that just got in the way and was barely put to use because of the consoles that this couldn't emulate. But AYANEO saw community feedback and released a classic version which removed the analog sticks entirely. And boy, does it feel much better and looks better too, in my opinion. This allows the minimal square CNC'd aluminium shell to have the face it deserves and makes everything feel a little more spacious so that gamers can focus on emulating the consoles they want with the controls they want. It comes with a 3.5-inch borderless IPS display with a resolution of 960 by 640, a MediaTek Helio G99 CPU, 6 or up to 8 GB of RAM, a 2600 mAh battery, and runs with AS Space, which is a custom front end which is okay. It needs a little bit of work, but if you're into nitpicking and customizing things, this is a very enjoyable front end that AYANEO have put a lot of time and money into. Because the power is being paired with a beautiful display, it allows many of your retro consoles to be emulated in beautiful upscaled resolutions. For example, Game Boy Advance can play naturally at 4x native resolution and it looks phenomenal. It's the device I go to specifically if I'm looking for a handheld to emulate Game Boy Advance perfectly in a beautifully designed handheld which feels like Apple has designed themselves. It has a beautiful metal body, a lovely glass front, great buttons, and decent battery life. It's one of AYANEO's most underrated devices, and at this moment in time, before the AYANEO Pocket Air Micro comes out, it is I think priced at around about $170 or $180, making it AYANEO's most affordable handheld yet, and it is stunning. The ModRetro Chromatic is a handheld made exclusively to play Game Boy and Game Boy Color cartridges, designed by Palmer Luckey, who you may know as the man who invented Oculus and sold it to Facebook for millions. Palmer also owns Anduril Industries, making drones for the US government. So this guy has a crazy background in the tech space, and he's using that crazy tech money to perfect the Game Boy, which he's done really well, annoyingly. It's perfect. Almost. No, it is. It's perfect. Crafted with a magnesium body and a pixel-perfect display brighter than the sun, it feels like the original on steroids, but still takes batteries to keep that nostalgic touch. The display is so good that it's one of my favorite ways to play Game Boy games entirely. It keeps the squareness, but shows it in a way that is bright, colorful, and keeps the intricacies or the flaws of the original Game Boy Color display that we have all come to love. It feels like a Game Boy Color thanks to the button placement, screen size, the big black border, a working trading cable port, and the large booty that houses the batteries. It's a remarkable upgrade for any Game Boy fan, and in all honesty, I used to be a big lover of modifying my Game Boy to get it as perfect as I can. I haven't modded a Game Boy since I purchased this. It is a remarkable device and the last Game Boy I've ever had to use. Game Boy Color, more specifically. And last but not least, this one goes under the radar a lot when it comes to miniature handhelds, and that's because it's well over 2 years old now. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a great little metal retro handheld. You will need glasses to play games on here, and you will get frustrated by the little buttons, but it makes for an adorable gift for yourself or friends that want something to play on that can be attached to their keyring and not break after a week, because it's quite literally a small metal brick with a computer inside. It's not going to bust at all. I've had mine since it launched for over 2 years now. There's bumps, scratches on it, but it still works fine. The battery's great, and it's indestructible. It has a 1.5-inch IPS display with a resolution of 240 by 240, a 1.2 GHz CPU, 64 megabytes of RAM, and a 1000 mAh battery. As I said, it's small, it's not powerful, it's a little annoying, but it's adorable. It only lasts up to 2 hours on a single charge. However, it is capable of playing up to PlayStation 1 games on this itty-bitty display. The user experience is pretty good too, as ANBERNIC has not made their own OS for us. They've actually used Funky's OS, which they developed for the Funky handheld, which is good because ANBERNIC's front end and custom stuff sucks. They've actually used this, which has made it a really fun and easy to consume device that looks like a little Switch, or the menu does, so to speak. It's very, very simple. And as of making this video, it's actually up for sale for just 36 bucks, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. And for that price, it is an absolute steal. And that's probably because it's a 2-year-old device. Maybe stock is a little limited and they just want to get rid of it. But I think the retail price was $60, but I haven't seen it at that price for a very long time. So if you want this, it's probably a good time to grab it while it's still in stock, while they're still manufacturing it, because it's cheap, it's affordable, and for 35 bucks, you can use it as a door wedge, and it's still a good door wedge. So there you have it, a look at my favorite metal retro handhelds of the year. There's a wide selection here, and I'm glad metal is on the comeback, from the RG477M to the TRIMUI Brick Hammer to ModRetro's Chromatic. There is a lot here, and I'm all for it. I love metal retro handhelds. Use the link below if you want to find out where to purchase these. And as usual, I appreciate you watching, and please do subscribe for future handheld videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.